Hey everyone out there, YouTubers, TikTokers, anybody that wants to or is watching this video. I wanted to come on here because I have really been struggling with my mental health lately, and I guess I'm putting this video out there in the hopes that maybe some other people feel the same way or have similar experiences. So this is going to be a really short video though, because I'd like to elaborate and make a longer video, but right now I don't have the time to, and I also need to sort of get my head straight about how I want to talk more about this topic. So what I wanted to talk about were a couple of things today. What they call the ADHD iceberg and this thing called rejection sensitive dysphoria. So I have ADHD, and one of the most frustrating things to me with ADHD is the fact that most people that don't have it, no offense, I mean, there are a lot of understanding people out there, but a lot of people that don't have it really don't understand the concept of the ADHD iceberg. It is very complex, and the last couple of years, I have been realizing that a lot of the issues I've had my whole life are a large part of my ADHD iceberg, because I mask my symptoms, or I pretend like I don't have the problems that I do, and that can make things really difficult personally. So some of the things that they talk about with the ADHD iceberg that people really don't see is, struggles with relationships, mood swings, co-occurring mental illnesses. Poor time management is on this one that I'm looking at on this Google Images search, but I think some people are aware of that, so I don't know if that would be under the iceberg necessarily. But depression, impulsivity, strong emotions, difficulty with self-care, poor working memory, difficulty with conversations, sleeping issues, rejection sensitive dysphoria, which is what I'm going to talk about. Anxiety, hyperfixations, that's another big one for me, is hyperfixations. Mood swings, difficulty switching tasks, auditory processing issues, and executive dysfunction. So people think of ADHD as just like not being able to focus and being hyper, but all of those other things underneath are what's tormenting us inside, tormenting us. So rejection sensitive dysphoria is a really difficult thing that I have begun to come to terms with myself. But basically, rejection sensitive dysphoria is the fact that if you have this, you have a constant fear of being judged by other people, of people not liking you, and you have this need for people to like you. So there's been a debate whether it's its own separate diagnosis or it's just an attachment of ADHD, but here are some of the different things about rejection sensitive dysphoria. So you have intense emotional sensitivity to perceived criticism or rejection. I can't tell you how many times somebody has said something to me like, don't be so dramatic, or just something like in general, and they're not meaning to be any type of way, but I take it personally. And I have a really hard time with criticism. And I don't want to be that way. I don't want to break down and get emotional about tiny things because I think that somebody is rejecting me or that I'm being criticized, and that is a big problem for me. Some of the other things, rejection triggers huge feelings of depression, rage, anger, or severe anxiety. For me personally, it's depression and it's severe anxiety, like crippling. I can't get out of bed, my heart's racing, I'm depressed. I can often go from being sad to suicidal very quickly. Often seeing neutral or vague reactions as rejection or as silent criticism. So in my head, I will constantly be thinking about the way somebody has said something and think that they meant something mean or something like that. Severe anxiety, avoidance, big emotions before an anticipated rejection. So sometimes nothing has happened, but in my head, I will think they're probably going to reject me, or this situation is, going to be bad. So then I just end up assuming rejection, and then I just disappear or avoid the situation. People with RSD are often people pleasers to avoid being criticized, and I want to help people all the time. I am a people pleaser. I want people to like me. I feel like there's something missing inside of me sometimes, and I want to make a connection with other people, and it's a huge thing that is really difficult to live with. I have difficulty starting tasks, projects, or goals when there's a chance of failure. So all of my artistic endeavors like music and art and singing and drumming and writing, I love to do all of those things. But I have such a problem with the idea that somebody's not going to like it, or that I'm not good enough, or that I don't know. So I will start projects and I will not finish them. I will start projects and not finish them because I'm afraid of being criticized and rejected. Another part of RSD is the inability to regulate emotional responses to feelings of failure and rejection. It is really difficult for me to get out of the mindset that I'm in once I have decided that that's what's going on. And then obviously that fear of rejection negatively affects your life and your relationships. So that's sort of the gist of RSD. And I have struggled with that my whole life. But recently, as I've gotten older and I've figured out more about myself and my mental illness, I have realized how much more difficult it has become for me, because I'm actually paying attention to my symptoms. Whereas when I was in my early 20s, I was not paying attention to my reactions to things, and I was naive and immature, and I was also masking and not admitting to myself when I had a problem with something. And now I'm much more aware. So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to come on and talk about that. And if anybody else has experienced these things with their ADHD, please reach out to me in the comments. I'm really, really looking for some people to connect with that have the same type of issues, because I just, a lot of times feel so alone in this, and it really, really hurts. So thank you for listening, and I hope and look forward to hearing from other people maybe. Have a good one. Bye.